Дорогие гости,
Dear guests, colleagues, experts, so let's start our meeting. And all of those people who might not be able to come on time, you'll be able to hear the recording later. Once again, good afternoon, good morning. Today at our forum, at the Made in Russia session, Russia, Islamic World, and the Greater Middle East Expert Cooperation Circuit. We'll try to open sort of new ways and approaches of cooperation between the Near and Middle East and Russia and former Soviet Union countries. And some of those sort of experts from the front line, they're both practitioners and theoretical experts who are ready to share their expertise. They will be doing their presentations. There will be several experts. Rushan Abyasov, Alexei Busev, and Vladimir Muzur. And there are several speakers from the region. Um, as I mentioned, Vladimir Mazur, the governor of Tomsk. He's definitely one of those people who is on the front line and interested in cooperating. The Incona director and Sergei Busev is one of our foreign guests. Ashraf Tambuli, he's the CEO of the Islamic Chamber of Halal Services. And our expert from Turkey, Zulfikar Kilic, who is the Turkish Machine Manufacturers Association chairman of the board. We got several other experts in halal services. Aydar Gazizov and Marat Nizamov, who is the head of the Halal Competence Center of the Russian Quality or Roskачество. We've got an amazing expert, Mr. Gorbachev, from the Project Logistic Development Department, and the CEO of the Carbon Tax, Vyacheslav Rogozhnikov. Let me repeat myself that today's session, the challenge and the goal is to open a new niche and a new approach. As you know, the Russian Federation has been working with the Islamic world for some time, and us as a focus group in this area, we definitely want to see how things can expand and what we can build on. Mr. Abbasov would be the first person to share his presentation with us. So, as I said, finding new approaches and new niches in the that sometimes business have a challenge to sort of open, but with the help of other experts that we have, that some of them have been closed in the past, but using the mechanism of their cultural and religious diplomacy, we are able to find and to find new opportunities and new ways how to sell and export, and also how to sort of continue this very close cooperation, whether it's with Emirates and or Saudi Arabia. And we're also considering new ways and new approaches. So my question is, what should we do? What should we do so the Russian business, can follow you in the new ways? Thank you very much, friend and brother. It's the first time that I'm here to share with you this morning, and I'd like to welcome you all and send greetings from my colleagues and from our spiritual leaders. And of course, today's topic, as our moderator has mentioned, is very critical and is in high demand because the trade economical relationship, even from the historical perspective, It's been something that has been happening for centuries, and that is exactly how Islam has been expanding through the trade relationship. It was started to expand around the world, whether it was in Asia or the African continent. And right now we're at the place where the ancestors of Tatar have accepted Islam many centuries ago. It was through the trade routes that things started happening. We all remember the Silk Road, and I think even that at that time that Islam at the time has paid a special attention to the cooperation, to the agreements, and if you look in Al Quran and the longest ayat in the book, in the Holy Book of Islam, that puts a lot of focus on agreements. Agreement that is based on the mutually beneficial conditions, that fair agreement, whether it's in trade or in other ways. And as you know, in Al Quran, there is a lot of condemnation to those who break agreements. And obviously, whether it's in the East and in our country, these spiritual, religious values that are they're close to our hearts. And our partners from the Islamic world do agree with that. So if we start talking about today and what is on our agenda today, it is important to mention that today, in our country, has an amazing opportunity to join the Arabic world, the Greater Middle East. If we do look at what is happening in the political world these days, there are a lot of issues, whether it's what's happening in the Palestine. And of course, as a lot of us, we do have a very specific view on the issues, whether it is Palestine or other places that are currently under conflict. If we look at the family values that, as we all know, in the Islamic world, there's a lot of focus on the family values, and that is quite different from what is happening in the Western civilization. But in our country, which is a very multinational, multi-religious society, these values have their significance, and it is important. It is important, and it provides a way for us to cooperate with the Islamic world countries. And of course, what I want to mention is, I'd like to mention the address of our president, Mr. Putin. He said that he does appreciate the relationship with the Islamic world countries, with the Arab countries, who are one of the most important partners for us. And obviously, the words of our spiritual leader. In our country, we do have a chance to accept and invite various leaders, both from the cultural and religious circles from around the world, who come here. Last year, at the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, together with Veronika Vladimirovna, we signed the agreement about the cooperation between the Russian Expert Center and the Center of Business Affairs to strengthen our future opportunities and possibilities. So we do help the business society in every way and facilitate sort of the cooperation and the relationship with the Arab world businesses and countries. So in every way possible, we want to contribute to facilitate this business affairs, because in the Middle East, it is something that has a great value. And it's been more than 30 years that we've been sort of interacting with the Islamic world in terms of business and other things. And it is definitely appreciated that no matter how many other countries put on sanctions on us, the Arab countries have opposed to that, even to their own loss at times. But the Russian business continues to prosper and develop. We are trying to build the not just with the companies in the Middle East, but definitely with the executives, with the people who are heading these businesses. So definitely, there a relationship between the people, the heads of the companies, and the companies themselves. That is something we value a great deal. As you know, 57 countries over the Islamic world that are united in their organization of Islamic cooperation. And it's definitely one of the biggest organizations after the UN. We do cooperate within this organization and the countries both from Asia, which has a great market. And as you know, Indonesia is one of the biggest Islamic countries in the world. India as well. So there are a lot of big opportunities and possibilities, and it is something that we have to develop and continue working on. Another thing I'd like to mention, another approach, we started back in 2000 when the topic of halal was known just here in Russia, and it was not that sort of like promoted. Well, obviously, of course, I mean, halal has been practiced by the Muslims for the last 1,000 years. But as an industry, it is something that started back in 2000. And both in the spiritual societies, we set up a structure to promote not just as principles, but also as industry. And the general director of our center will be talking later about it. So the first expo of halal, it was something that started back in Moscow, the Moscow Halal Expo, and our Russian companies took part in various international halal expos in the Islamic world. They do travel international and sort of set up exports and imports of various halal products. Definitely. Another big instrument in the Islamic business, in other words, is Islamic banking. Last year, we had some of the changes in the legislation, and there are 4 regions, including Tatarstan, which sort of like started it as an experiment to practice Islamic banking. And it is definitely something in the current sort of like geopolitical situation to do any kind of international banking transaction. It is a bit of a challenge. So to use this particular instrument is quite beneficial. So there is a talk about Islamic banks being involved in sort of helping us with that, and even opening possible some of their branches here. And as the moderator mentioned, we try to facilitate in any way to the Russian experts, Expo Center, and to the companies that that approach us. So the blessing of our spiritual leader and Mufti is something that we have to support these kind of projects. And the General Director, Aliyev, is someone who will be sharing later with us, helping all different companies, the Russian companies who are involved. So we are open, we are ready to cooperate. for the benefit of the trade and economical relationship. And for us, as and for us as someone who takes care of the spiritual needs, we are ready to support you.
Thank you very much. You stressed this organization on cooperation within Islam, and we speak about Islam. It's indeed an assembly of development of different spheres in trade, in business, in service, and we cannot stay away from halal sphere. And I would like to ask our international partner, Mr. Ashraf Al-Tanbuli. My question is, how do you estimate the perspectives for development of halal industry in Russia on behalf of our international counterpartners? And what do you think, what we should do in Russia in order to bring more interest from international partners, from Muslim states, from international community, business community, to expand mutual trade exchange from Russia in Russia to Russia. So how does it work? This is my question, and the floor is yours.
I represent the Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Development. It's the arm of the OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the second largest organization in the world after the United Nations. We are taking care of the private business in the Muslim countries, as well as the Muslim communities in non-Muslim countries. So we have 57 member countries, as well as 11 observer countries. One of them is actually Russia. Now, the halal market is one of the largest growing markets in the world. There is one of every 4 people on this planet is Muslim. So 25% of the population is Muslims. And this market is actually growing at a double rate of the normal business. So if you're talking about the food industry, for example, it's growing at around 3.6% annually. The halal food is growing at around 7.8%. So it's double the growth rate. Now, the halal market is not actually limited to food. It's lifestyle. It's rather a lifestyle. So there is food, there is cosmetics, there is pharmaceutical, there is even travel and entertainment. Now, entertainment, for example, let me say that as much as halal is around ethics and way of life, there are some trends that's being posed on the world that's not very plausible by family ethics. And since this trend is growing of putting movies and even to kids in cartoons some non-ethical values, started a trend for a family-oriented, or we call it halal, media networks that preserve their broadcast and the media they choose to broadcast to families that's family-friendly. So even media is there. Now, our objective in the Islamic Chamber of Commerce is to develop the market, the global market of halal, with the objective that Muslims all over the world can find a product easily and near to them. That's not easily now. That cannot be found right now. And I'm not only talking about Muslim countries, I'm talking about Muslims all over the world. So the opportunity for halal products and services is global. And it's not only products, you can actually export services. So a Muslim, me, for example, coming to this beautiful country, I would like to find a halal meal or an option for halal meal on the plane. I would like to find a halal-friendly room that doesn't include alcohol and it has some direction to Mecca and a praying rug. It's very simple procedure that can be done to make the stay comfortable. So export even of services can be done and is looked for by Muslims all over the world. Now, definitely the first step and one very important step is to prove that halal is really halal. And this can be done through certification, and that's quite easy, and I'm sure there is a lot of organization here in Russia is doing that. Now, the second thing, and I said it's more important than certification, is going to the market and branding, going through trade missions, going to the expos. We, for example, we are organizing every year an expo in Mecca Halal Forum, for companies to share what they have and find trade partners all over the Middle East and globally. We are repeating this exhibition in different countries in the world, in Nigeria, for example, in Indonesia, in other countries. So we are doing our part in supporting the trade and growing it through the trade missions, through exhibitions, and also through a platform exposing producer and supplier to each other from around the world. That is a problem typically because every producer is looking for a trade partner in different countries, and it's very difficult to find them. Now we are trying to make this easier. Another aspect to this ecosystem is the investments, and investments is very important. Now, Muslim Fund and Arab Fund is looking for investment opportunity that's actually halal. Not all the opportunities in the world is halal. So investing in a poultry farm that is producing halal poultry, that would be a good thing for Muslims because it has two aspects of the investment. It has the financial reward and it has the holy reward at the end, inshallah. So Muslims are looking for such investment. We cannot drop the financial aspect, but again, when it's coupled with another aspect, that would be good. So investment is available, but for halal or opportunity that serve the halal market because this is a lucrative market. We are also at ICCD, the Islamic Chamber of Commerce, we are trying to support this, holding trade missions and investment opportunities for others. And we're definitely hoping that the trade with Russia and the Muslim world, and even not, I would say the Muslim all over the world, not only the Muslim world, would grow further and further. Thank you.
Господин Ашраф, спасибо.
Thank you, Mr. Ashraf. It is such a significant contribution. It is so important. Thank you for your contribution, such a significant contribution that you have made. We see that our partners from Saudi Arabia, from the Emirates, they're interested in Russia and they are much more comfortable with the trends that they are aware of. And therefore, halal is very important. In terms of the Russian Federation, I would like to stress that we see today, we start immersing ourselves in halal, and we have an agency on certification of halal, and we help our companies to obtain halal certificates. And I would like to give the floor to the Russian experts that are present in the industry for a long time, and we have a lot of experts, partners present, and we expect this topic to be interesting. And I would like to give the floor to Aidar Gaibdulovich. You know that you've done the whole work on certification of halal in Russia. So please share your experience. What are your results? What are the peculiarities of this sphere? The floor is yours. Dear colleagues, dear partners, Assalamu alaikum. And in the name of Allah, the merciful and compassionate. So I would like to share on our experience in certification of halal in the Russian Federation. Our center was created on behalf of Ravil Gandin 20 years ago, and was his will, and we have a lot of applications to the Council of Muftis of the Russian Federation to bring the right order into halal industry, because it was right in the beginning of its way. In 2002, 2003, when we started having the first standard of halal in the Russian Federation, and it was born in our premises and by our professionals and scientists and the representatives of our spiritual assembly, and that was the time to enter this halal world. And now we have hundreds of enterprises that have been through certification from the largest federal institutions that you all know them. They are advertised on the federal TV, to this small and medium-sized business. We don't consider them in terms of their share or turnover. We value them all. They all are equal. And this logo, this brand of halal is now not only this halal brand, but this halal trademark, and everyone knows it. And for example, now we know that this brand is admired and is trusted by everyone, but not only Muslims, not only Tatars, if we speak about the Republic of Tatarstan. So this is a brand, this is a logo, this is the quality trademark, and no matter who is buying the product, but they understand the product is of a good quality and is produced under the best control. And this is the highlight, the standard of halal and standard of quality. 80 people is the number of our staff, and 60 people are experts, the controllers, distributors spread all over of our country, and they work day and night to control the quality of our products. 22 years of our operations, and starting 2014, we provide for halal experts abroad. In 2014, our center first obtained the accreditation in the Ministry on Protection of the Environmental and Water Resources in the Emirates. And we consider this to be the milestone when we started doing export abroad. And we accredited in JAG, this Gulf Countries Accreditation Center, in SASO, and so the Saudi Food Authority, the organization in charge of control of drugs and foodstuff, bringing to Saudi Arabia. And for today, we have the registration in Thailand, and recently, we've obtained registration in one of the largest hubs in South Asia and Southeastern Asia, and we are working with our partners there in Singapore. And I would like to stress this: 5 years of our hard work, of our team, has the result. Last year in October, we obtained the accreditation in one of the most significant institutions for accreditation, JAKIM, the Department for Islamic Development of Malaysia. As for today, considering the order from the Northern African states, and was stressed by Rushan Kazrat, last year was the year of a lot of work implemented, and this International Economic Forum in St. Petersburg, within 2 years later, that was greater forum of Russia and Africa. And we have this applies. They want us products, and we work with this destination of the Northern Africa. We just came from Algeria, and we obtained accreditation of the national standardization in Morocco, and we plan to get there, to reach the results, to make sure that our exporters have the opportunity to export to Algeria and other countries, let's say dry milk, dozens of millions of dollars. And we have the representatives of the Milk Union. They want to enter new destinations, new markets. And as we keep joking, halal is spreading the word about itself all globally, and we have a lot of partners and those interested in our ecosystem. So, of course, first come the producers of food, but it's also about banking, it's about pharmaceuticals, it's about medicine. Tourism is a large niche, and inshallah, if we consider the Middle East, and Najibullah mentioned, we know that there is the Russian house in the Emirates, and Mr. Muslimov is the head of this Russian house, and he is already in Tatarstan. He will join our session. So this platform of the Russian house is the platform, how the Russian government considers it. This is the platform for Russia to meet the Emirates, if I speak specifically about this destination and this hub. And this is a hub to enter other countries, especially the countries of the Northern Africa. So I would like to join the words of Rushan Hazrat. Our doors are open. Our international halal Center is welcoming everyone, and please come to us and get accreditation, get our help, get our hand, and you'll have the chance to export to almost all the countries in the world. And I would like to stress today, if you want to expand the list of our registry, we specifically target Indonesia. We have a good demand coming from Indonesia, and we'll be more than happy to be helpful for you. Taking this chance, I would like to also thank Diana Jibula for your invitation. It's a great honor for me to obtain this invitation, and I would like to stress our mutual relationships have been always developing very positively. And thank you, Ms. Nikishina, for your projects, programs from the Russian Export Center that you offer that relate to export. I would like to stress for the smallest business, and the smallest business is suffering a lot of limitations. So thank you for giving this hand. Thank you, Rahmet, and I'm here for you. Please enter me to ask and answer your questions. Thank you very much. Rahmet. So you've touched upon so many topics. I would like to add, we'll have a lot of dedicated abstracts and chapters dedicated to the Emirates and other destinations. So we want to target the niches of the Southern Pacific Asia and Gulf countries, and we'll be there. And I would like to give the floor to Mr. Nizanov, and the next speaker is Mr. Nizanov.
Хотел у вас узнать,
Mr. Nizanov, I'd like to find out from you. So, what about the brand Made in Russia, which helps Russian products to go into the Middle Eastern markets? How can we assimilate them with halal products? I mean, how can we sort of really connect them so we can bring Made in Russia brand and halal brand in a way to the Middle Eastern markets? How foreign business can be open to the halal products of Made in Russia? Praise be to God. Dear colleagues, brothers and sisters, I thank you all for a chance to share with you today. And I'd like to share a brief presentation with you. It is true that nowadays Russia, we can say, is definitely one of the most important partners in the Middle East. And we actually, what we say, the Middle East is even closer to Russia than it used to be before. And we definitely want to strengthen the business partnerships with our colleagues, and of course even with the centers of certification in those countries. So I represent Roskачество, which means Russian quality. It is a governmental body that sort of analyzes the diagnostics of business process and the certification of number of products. And the halal quality is definitely one of the top issues that we deal with. About 12 companies that every year sort of receive the quality mark from us. And as you know, it's something that started back in the Soviet days, and this good tradition, the quality mark from the government that is bestowed on the products and the government is something that is very much appreciated. And some time ago, the Halal Center that sort of does give certification and sort of gives its mark of the quality has been set up some time ago. So we had several different structures within Roskачество, Russian quality body, and it might not, not all of you might maybe follow the presentation that I'm currently showing, but if we talk about the world population of Muslims, and if we took at the halal products, globally speaking, it's definitely more than $1 trillion. And whenever these numbers are sort of like shared, a lot of people do wonder where exactly, which countries sort of like have a bigger demand for halal products and or not. So every year, the exports to the Middle East on the increase. Currently, it's more than $41 billion. And what it does is that the producers who are ready to provide the halal products, they do receive the certification and the quality mark from us, from Roskачество, and it definitely opens doors in terms of trade. And to be honest, I mean, the products that are produced by them are definitely of a high quality, and I had a chance to taste quite a lot of them by them. Recently, I had a chance to speak from colleague from the Emirates, with whom we were talking about some of the products, and they do the Emiratis. They do have a very sort of like a pragmatic approach to business, and they said, of course, we're open to products, let's say from made in Russia, but certain bureaucratic issues that do exist between our countries need to be solved. So things, whether it's customs, certifications of the products, it is something we do need to find the solution for. So and it should be done on both sides, right here where the products are made and into those countries where they're exported. So and of course, it all depends on the countries where our products go to. We absolutely have to buy the standards, the quality standards. We bought about 20 different standards from various countries, so we can normalize and adapt the standards and the qualities of the products that we produce and ready to offer for export. We sort of need to harmonize them with the standards that do exist, whether it's the Emirates, Malaysia, Indonesia, or anywhere. It's definitely a lot of work that is done by the Russian Export Center, and the brand made in Russia is becoming a brand of a high quality in the Middle East, fortunately. We do receive a lot of support from the center, of the Russian export. We had a chance to work with the region of Khanty-Mansiysk, the northern part of Russia, and we received a certificate of halal certification from them in that area. And a similar certificate was received in Bashkortostan and several other areas in Russia. Wherever that certification is received, obviously, the companies that do produce various products are supported by us, and they have a chance to take part in whether it's a local or international exhibition or forums where products are presented. So it's not just about the aspects of the products, as it was mentioned earlier, that are halal and that are important, but service as well. So, I mean, as some of you actually maybe heard about the brand Masha and Medved, which is Masha and the Bear, which is a Russian children's cartoon. It has become very popular, let's say, in Indonesia or in Japan or other countries. So it's interesting that, I mean, Masha, a little girl in the cartoon, she has her head covered, sort of like a hijab, and it is interesting. So although she's not a Muslim, but it is very much accepted. Let's say it's Indonesia where the Russian cartoon is very much loved. So in other ways, we need to find different creative ways how we can share, but all of that should be strengthened by the certifications and international standards. So So whenever people request us for the halal brand certifications, we also want to support them with the products of the brand made in Russia. We recently received the accreditation of several centers, including the Gulf Center, and what it means for us is that we can share and export the products that have the support of the Roskачество, the Russian quality, and we can distribute them in the Gulf region. So there's a lot of work to do, but we're progressing. So international certificates have a lot of, there's a great need for having international standards, international certificates to be integrated, to receive them in order for us to continue exporting both our products, but also strengthening the cooperation with the Islamic world, with the Arab world countries. So whether it's Northern Africa, the Middle East, we are open to working with you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's definitely very interesting that this sort of like soft power that you mentioned with the Russian cartoon, with the Alyonka, which is a Russian chocolate, and it's the name of a girl who also has her head covered, and is definitely well received in the Muslim world. So this sort of like soft power skills or certain things are very much helpful. And what we see in Egypt, in the Emirates, in Saudi Arabia, that the brand made in Russia does have a certain positive connotation to it, and it does help us to sort of continue bringing our products. So it does provide sort of a good platform for us to be a good competitor for various and the abundance of the products that do exist on that markets. So what interesting, the saying that you used is that for the most part, we're in Moscow, but often we miss what is happening in the regions, in the region of our country. So Mr. Mazur, the governor of Tomsk region, the governor is someone who can share that the perspective, and this particular region, I mean, is in a way has its proximity with a different part of Russia and with Asia. So for a lot of us who are based in Moscow, we don't notice certain things, what is happening in our country. But the examples and the perspective, let's say, from the Tomsk region, and we have, as I said, the governor with us, I mean, to share a very different perspective. And Mr. Mazur, we would appreciate your perspective and what you think about what is happening. I mean, Tomsk is known as a student city. I mean, there are about 11,000 students. So what do you think? What do you think? What can be expanded on? How we can improve the topic? So thank you. Thank you for the floor. I'd like to share a few words. Thank you all very much for giving me a chance to share with you. To tell you a few words about Tomsk, about our region, what are the advantages, what can be done. So we speak a little bit historical. I mean, there's quite a move to the east of Russia as well, and Tomsk has been one of those places that has been quite strong in the region. So why do we have that advantage? So sometime before, let's say before the Western partners sort of stopped interacting with us or partners with us, I mean, especially whether it's in academia or in student sort of exchange, but also in business. So before it all happened, I mean, we had quite a rich sort of exchange. But what I would like to focus is what has been happening, not just in education or science, but in business. And Tomsk itself is closer to the Asian sort of region. It has been both the importer and the exporter of products from the Asian region. So back in 2021, we had about 93 countries partners, and in 23 it's just 87. So it's not that sort of it's not that terrible in a way. So there's no like radical change of any kind for us in the Tomsk region. But our focus to the east, to the orient, if you will, is Central Asia and China have always been our key partners. Overall, sort of like refocusing to the east, sort of in a way it sets up a different kind of competition between our region and other regions in Russia. But we advanced further and we moved to Latin America, to the Middle East, and of course it's not a fast process. It is something. It is something that takes time. With the countries that are part of the OIC,
Within 2 years, we grew the trade exchange. We doubled it with the Middle East, and the trade exchange grew due to our low base, but it's a significant step forward. And our main export partners are the United Arab Emirates, and we send our cider tree nuts, the timber and machinery, and Egypt and Morocco are our key partners as well. So I was thinking about our discussion, and I think that our products, and we speak about wild herbs and poultry and other groups of products that is falling within the certification, we can expand, we can develop this brand, and we can, and speaking about this head covered, these little girls and their scarves that they cover their head, and our women, it's all about Russia. So we can wrap anything into this scarf and send it abroad and export it. So we can cider cone wrap in a scarf and send it abroad to the countries where they follow the same traditions as we. So we understand that there are milestones and there are points of growth, and we see it in engineering and information technologies and agriculture, and of course in education. Education is very strong sphere of ours. A lot of our partners follow the way of launching their branches in friendly countries, and it allows them to feel better and to provide for operations under sanctions. And the Arabic Emirates became a hub for us, and our trade with cider cones and nuts is now experiencing tremendous growth. We also are good in sending Siberian wild herbs in poultry and oils. And I would like to offer to the expert center the following comment. We sometimes experience some limitations on bringing our products to international markets. For example, our wild herbs. We are very good in this. It's our traditional production, and we need to raise awareness to grow this culture. And I would like to invite to expand our practice of Made in Russia festivals, and let us bring these festivals to the Middle East. And we proved it was very good in other destinations. So let us start with the Emirates, and I cannot not to touch education and technologies, and of course we have great scientific educational hubs, centers, and Tomsk is a magnet. We have over 11,000 of international students. It's all over 100 different international states, and 80% come from the students come from the countries of Islamic occupation, and it grows and grows. So we tripled the number of students from Africa. And due to the international youth community, Tomsk is now an open community for different confessions and cultures and traditions. And Tomsk today is a leader in different positions, and we take the first place in student technological development, entrepreneurship and development, then IT specialists, training education leaders, and we are always are a member of top list of those preparing scientific and technological staff. So Tomsk Technological University is indeed a flagship in technological education, in engineering, staff training, and bringing the best technological solutions. And this is the place where we raise our engineers, and this is the place where the leading corporations come to implement the largest projects. I here mean Rosatom, for example, and our university, Tomsk Polytechnic University, is such a hub to train the staff for Egypt, Kazakhstan, and other countries. So we train oil and gas professionals for the destination of the Northern Africa. We offer comprehensive oil and gas solutions in oil and gas industry. And we understand that we are to search for new technological solutions, and the Gulf countries, they are more focused on the Western technologies, but here we feel there is a great potential for cooperation, because Russia does not only speak, but it does and follows the values of follows the values of technological sovereignty. In order to offer the set of tools for the companies to provide for better opportunities, I would like to invite the expert center to expand the network of pavilions on exhibition and showcasing our products and technologies. And I'm sure it will be of demand in other destinations. And let us start from Egypt, and we can add to our cooperation with Egypt. So thank you very much, and I would like to welcome everyone and invite everyone to come to Tomsk and to sign your agreements. Thank you very much. I'm sure that after your presentation, we'll have more those willing to visit Tomsk. And in terms of our competences, we have a number of guests, including the Emirates, that are they are interested in visiting Tomsk. So if you're ready to host us, it would be great. So I would like to also cover some points. As for the fair, I agree with that. And now we have quite an idea implemented. We've talked to the ambassador as well. So we've started this way. As for Turkey and Emirates, indeed, they are the major destinations for us. Turkey in the region is the largest, our largest business partner, and the Emirates in the Arabic world, our leading partner. You see, we focus on the East, and it is a great turn, we say, but I hope it will be prolonged perspective and work. So we want to play and go for a long perspective. And I would like to also bridge our topics to another topic. So let us speak about one of the largest countries in the Middle East, the United Arab Emirates. The Emirates is indeed our flagship partner, and before traditionally we had we had good relationships with Egypt, with Algeria, but recently we have had a huge development of cooperation with the Emirates, and it feels there's still a way to go. It feels we still can expand. And let us give the floor to a person working in the Saudi Arabia and the Emirates for 15 years, and the Chief Operational Officer of the Russian Emirates Business Council and CEO of Incona, Alexei Busev. So what do you think? Have we come to the point to say that we are done with implementation of the best potential of our cooperation with the Emirates, with this part of the world? What do you think? Dear Najibullah, dear, I would like to express my personal thankfulness to you personally, and I welcome all present in the room. I'm thankful for being here. So this breakthrough is not something that we experience just recently. It started a long time ago. The trigger was the World Football Championship, and it was the time when Russia was opened by the Arabic world, and when the Arabic world understood not everything presented by our Western partners was true. And as our previous speaker said, this mutual understanding of family and cultural traditions, of course, had played a significant role. So this development of cooperation between Russia and the Emirates is heading the peak, and we have tremendous statistics proving that there are more and more companies opening in the Emirates, and they are very good quality partners, small and medium-sized business, and it's different from the situation 10, 15 years ago. And I must say that the companies that entered this market now, they are real countries, and they are expanding their presence not only in the Gulf countries region, but they go to other regions and countries and destinations of the world. As for the current projects, I can proudly state the development of our network by Export Center, these trade houses. We opened the pavilion in the Emirates in 2018, and starting from that, the dynamics is very good. We have over 70 Russian companies present there, and I checked the numbers. What companies from Tomsk we have? We have 3 companies from Tomsk that are successfully entering the market: Siberian Side, Southern KDM, and other regions that are present in our market. We have over 12 companies that are trading online or through internet, and over a year ago we opened a pavilion in Saudi Arabia, and of course, it was a great support given by the Russian Export Center, and all interested, I would like to invite to pay attention to the market of the Saudi Arabia, and of course, it's Saudi is about the internal market, and the Emirates is the hub to enter other destinations. And we see the dynamics, and it's amazing what we witness in terms of the real business, and how we partner with the administrations, and we have such a good support, and how they take these opportunities, how they consider the chances and perspectives. And it's not only about food, it's about all different spheres, design and others. And if you've been to Dubai recently, within these 2 years, we bring good quality, good restaurants, good food quality, good service quality, good development sphere that Russians bring to Dubai. So it's it's a whole range of different successful projects. And we as Encona and the Russian Emirates Business Council, we give different support to different spheres, pharmaceuticals, food production, and many others. I would like to also stress another, to highlight another case, Abu Dhabi ports. We launched it last year, the Eurasian Trade and Commercial Hub, and we are focusing on logistics and expanding this hub, and our Abu Dhabi partners are here present in Kazan. So take this opportunity, and we also plan to have a number of meetings in Moscow, and we'll have a whole, let's say, roadshow to talk, to discuss, to present, to showcase, and we are looking for interested parties to enter our projects. Until the end of this year, we plan to launch Russian IT hub in Dubai. We are not set with the platform, but the expansion will be focusing IT sphere. I would like to express the following and stress this. We proactively work with the regions, and we have this platform of the Business Council of the regions, and we have a number of events in different regions, in Kursk, for example. And our main objective is to raise public awareness and to inform Russian business. Unfortunately, there is a lack of information on what is going on the opportunities. And what we say, that's very general, the support of and to the Emirates, but what is it about? So despite of all the volumes of information, it's still a lack of precise, helpful information. And we are thankful to our Emirates partners, how they offer us opportunities to open accounts, to launch business, to register business, and so they give us opportunities for our Russian business to develop, to expand. And speaking about halal, my colleague mentioned about the balancing of standards, not only in halal, not only in food, but in oil and gas, and how we can bring oil and gas to the Gulf countries, because the American Standards API, they were imposing quite limitations on us, on Russians, till January, and now we have a way to go. So there are companies that are interested in entering the Gulf countries, and we have a great help and hand from the Emirates in this. As for work with the Russian Expert Center, again and again, I would like to reiterate that thank you, and thank you for your support, and thank you, Najibullah, for your proactiveness, for your involvement, and how you build, frame, and shape this agenda of our cooperation. And Vladimir Vladimirovich mentioned, indeed, this Russian week, and this dedicated events and corporate events. It is a good way, it is the right way, and we'll be happy to help it, because it is how we bring our culture. This is how we talk about our culture and raise awareness about our culture and business. And it's a huge potential in the Emirates. And we would like to thank the Russian Expert Center and all the affiliated bodies.
Спасибо большое. На самом
Thank you. Thank you very much. I do support the words that you've shared. And if we do talk about the Gulf countries, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates is definitely a special hub where companies sort of like distribute their products in the area. And it's definitely very beneficial for the for the business. And every year we try to participate in various exports and forums there, and we had a big IT event there, and we received very positive feedback. We need to use this resource that the Emirates, the colleagues from the Emirates are offering us. But I'd like to say that the market of the Emirates is huge, not just for Russia, but for anyone. And the competition there is huge. And it is only strong companies with good products, with good services can win there. So we all have to use all the mechanisms, whether it's Roskachество, whether it's business councils, region, the know-how from the regions and whatnot. We all need to use it all there. And the Russian Experts Center is definitely someone who supports a lot of export. But we also have to remember about the import. It should it should goes both ways. I'd like to talk to our colleague from Turkey. And if we talk about Turkey and about the region of the Greater Middle East, Turkey is definitely one of the biggest partner, whether it's about export or import. What they are offering is big. And I'd like to speak to Mr. Zulfikar Kılıçu. He is the Turkish Machine Manufacturer Association Board of Directors Chairman. It is not the first time that he is with us at this forum. And Mr. Embragiger has been with us. And we've been helping to the colleagues. So I'd like to know from you about the development of import and export. So if we talk about the import in the industrial sector, what are the nuances? How we as governmental structures can be beneficial for you?
Mr. Chairman, dear colleagues, friends and participants, first of all, I would like to thank Russian Export Center organizing this forum and giving a chance to MIB represent and give our views. Let me first start with just introducing MIB. MIB is the main Machine Manufacturers Association in Turkey, having more than 200 members. Top Turkish machine manufacturers are our members. 60% of Turkish machine exports belong to our members. So we are very strong association in Turkey. So secondly, I would like to give some figures. If we know the figures, we can understand more and how we can cooperate in the sector and how we can cooperate in the region. Export of Turkey is around 255 billion US dollar in 2023. Import of Turkey is around 361 billion dollar. Total foreign trade is 600 billion US dollar. This is not a small number. In the region, Turkey is one of the big economy and foreign trade country. When we look at the machine sector, export of machine sector in Turkey is 25 billion US dollar in 2023. Import of Turkey, machine import of Turkey is around 35 billion US dollar. That means around 60 billion US dollar market in Turkey. When I look at the countries' order in machine sector, unfortunately, I didn't see any Islamic countries in the list. Germany is number 1, Turkish export destination. Russia is number 2. United States is number 3. Other European countries following. Only Iraq is in the number 10 list. So that means we have to do something. We are here for Islamic countries. We are discussing, and we should find a way to cooperate more. And also on import side, figure shows the same trend. So Islamic countries should cooperate more and more. We have lots of ways to do this. And this organization is really very important to help this kind of action and cooperation. And also I would like to give some suggestions to overcome the problems for the trade between Islamic countries and also Russia. Everybody knows the sanctions creating problems on banks and financing. So we should find different ways. Islamic banking, Islamic finance should be used to overcome this sanction. I don't know, experts should discuss those things. We should use specific and special systems, like a barter system maybe. When we think about our trade with Russia, it's a very huge volume, more than 100 billion US dollar when you think about the foreign trade. When you add investment, it's getting more and more. In only Republic of Tatarstan, we have 3 billion US dollar investment. And also, Russia is investing in Turkey. Tatneft bought one of the Turkish oil company last year, and we expect this will continue because investment is not only one side issue, both sides. When you make investment in the country, automatically you can increase your trade, you can increase your export, and also you can help those countries to increase their export, they improve their technology, increase employment in that country. To be able to do all those things, of course, number one issue is finance and money transfer. We can discuss all those things to overcome these sanction issues because it's getting more and more strict, and if we don't find a way for the solution, it will affect our trade and economic relation in a negative way. In 2024, first 3 months, we have seen this. Our trade with Russia decreased 25%, just due to banking system issues. Of course, for that issue, Russia is doing everything. There is no problem on Russian side. The problem is on Turkish side. Our banks creating problems due to EU and USA strict pressure. To overcome those issues, Islamic banking system, Islamic finance, barter system, we should all discuss these issues. I don't know whether I use too much time. If there is any question, all those things, I'm ready to answer. Thank you very much.
Зульфикар Бey, спасибо большое. На самом деле вы ни в коем случае не затронули лишнее время. Вы
Thank you very much. You have not took too much time, but you actually really focused on the issues. And personally, I have been involved in this particular story about the pressure that Turkey is experiencing, but the Emirates are also going through the same thing. But I do want to say thank you to your Turkish partners for your creative approach. We really appreciate that, and I hope will be of benefit and to you as well. Dear colleagues, among us, there are some companies that produce various interesting products, not just food products, and there's quite a lot of interest in the Greater Middle East, in Northern Africa, and I'd like to speak to Mr. Rogozhnikov, who's the CEO of the Carbon Text. So, from your perspective, what are the possibilities and the niche in the high technology sphere in terms of export to the Gulf area? What are the challenges that are there for the companies that are starting and in that particular region? Good afternoon, dear participants. I am the CEO of Carbon Text. We're the leading engineering center in developing of carbon 3D quality. It's a new technology which allows within one sort of like in one sitting in one session allows us to produce very high quality products made of carbon, and these products are used in the space industry, in aviation, oil and gas, and medicine as well. And I think a lot of us in the engineering sort of sector of the Russian, we have a lot to offer for the Islamic world markets. And it is something that will be interesting not just for the countries, for the markets, but also for the investors as well. It's, you know, one of the sort of like the positive sides, if I may, from the sanctions side, that it really allowed for the Russian industries to blossom in a different way, to really focus on its own sort of strengths and sectors. So there is a lot of focus from the government and a lot of support. Obviously, in our country, you know, we are using our products, not importing them from elsewhere. But for the markets, Islamic world markets, we have a lot of innovations that we'd like to offer. One of them is, and it might be different from the foreign sort of like offers that might you guys get. We are interested in the long-term, mutually beneficial partnership that our clients or partners will increase their economic effectiveness together with us. And our sort of approach to export is not just for sort of sharing our products and services, but exporting their technologies. We think that this will provide a dynamic development in terms of technology itself being adopted and growing, and what we expect and hope that there will be a great demand for the materials, for the technologies, for the services that we offer. We hope that because whether in the Arab world and particularly in the Gulf area, that there have been some plans about building highly technical constructions, and we think that this particular trend is on demand and is on the rise, and we hope that this will continue. And your second answer, this might not be the challenges, but sort of like the goals and the objectives that are that the new exporters are facing. They're the following. First, you need to analyze, you need to do the market research, you need to study the legislation into the certification of the product or the services. You need to understand that the sort of like the approach or the arrival of the market will one has to understand what the sort of like advancement into the new market. You have to understand you will all have to spend money, not just like get immediate benefits. It's also important that we need to support the clients or the new partners with whom we will be starting this partnership. And it's also important to have both short-term and long-term goals in order to expect the success that we are hoping to get.
And another thing is to consider how we can produce the components for the airplane engines. So we are here present having our showcase. Welcome to our pavilion B4. Everyone is welcome. So please come and test. So you put it in such a right way, this marketing partnership and so on, so on. We have all the experts that can help you in this sphere. Mr. Busev, Marat Rinatovich, Abdulovich, and all our experts, professionals are here. They will be more than happy to offer you advice. And another thing, an important thing that you've mentioned, it is important to work within a long-term perspective. This is so true. If our companies think that it's enough to visit something once in Saudi Arabia, in the Emirates, it happens, but it's a rare chance for success. And speaking about partnership with the Muslim world, and it is not about cooperation between the small company here and there. It's about relationships between people. It is important to build this trustworthy relationships with people, with partners, with counterparties, and will give a lot of help here. When we speak about experts, I've discussed a lot about logistics, certification, banking system, but we haven't touched upon the logistics in details. And we have our participant, Mr. Gorlachev, FESCA Transportation Group Head of Project Logistics Development Department, and they focus on the Middle East, and they're present in the Indian destination. So what are the support services that you offer to our Russian companies interested in export and import with our friendly countries from this greater Middle East? Good day, dear colleagues. Distinguished moderator, thank you for inviting me. I represent FESCA Transportation Group. We are one of the oldest transportation and intermodal operators, and we are over 140 years old. And FESCO is the Far East transportation company operator in logistics, and we started from the Far East. We are the largest operator in the Far East with the share of over more than 40% of the market in terms of container shipment, and now we understand this shift to east to south, and we proactively develop our operations through Azov Basin, through Black Sea Basin, and we enter our Middle East partners regions. And it is important to state that 2 years ago, all the participants of the Russian market, both exporters and importers and logistics players, they faced this cancellation of Meyer, Sinair presence, these giant brands, and traditionally the tracks that they covered, they stayed then opened, and there was a niche, and therefore there was a pending question issue how to enter markets of our friendly Middle East and southern countries. Therefore, what we offer, what we plan to do further on to support our exporters. For example, 2 years ago, we launched our own service from Novorossiysk port to Turkey, and we tied these two destinations, Ambarglid-Gizli, and this route is now having our own ship, and we offer our clients service every week, and we've touched upon the idea of the Emirates being the largest transit hub, but still Turkey is remaining the largest transit hub, and we offer consolidation of freight from Turkey to further own destinations, and therefore we offer our ships from Novorossiysk port. Within 2 years of work of this service, we we've offered the corresponding numbers of containers, and we see that import is prevailing on import, and export is 16,000 of units, and therefore we don't rest, we expand, and we go south. And we develop partnership relationships with the largest external partners and destinations. India, for example, last year we launched our direct line with our own ships. Indian Munro, Novosel with Novorossiysk, we built this route. And as for the moment, we offer our clients to use our FESCO Olga and FESCO Ekaterina ships, and they are operating this route. The transit term from Indian ports and Novorossiysk is about 16 days, worth both for export and import. What do we plan to do next? Coming to the Emirates ecosystem, we understand the potential for export and import with the use of the Emirates hub. So we want to add to our Indian service. We plan to launch a service from Jebel Ali in the Emirates to connected with Novorossiysk port. And this service is planned to be launched this coming summer. We also plan to offer our clients the opportunities to implement transit through the Emirates. And here we want to offer the full set of services with document implementation and operation and clearance, and we therefore proceed to the leading world global ports. So due to the development of our own premises and assets in terms of logistics, we were able to cover some niches left by the international companies, and we offer dedicated service to our Russian companies and bring them to the international destinations and markets. Thank you very much. There are so many issues and topics that we've discussed today, and we have the representatives of the clients, and we open this interaction opportunities, and we are falling behind the schedule. 5 minutes ago, we were supposed to leave the room, but the organizers were so interested in our dialogue that they let us go for 10 more minutes. So, Ildar Nailevich, you work so much with the Middle East and with Africa, with South and Eastern Pacific region. So I know that you've done so much work on defining the gaps that our experts should cover. What do you think? What focuses should be placed to be successful in the international markets? Thank you very much for your invitation, for your question. I'm happy to be here. First of all, I would like to one more time reiterate the above-mentioned topics on relationships within the partners in the Middle East, and I would like to define the instruments. So we work within the spiritual relationships and organizations, and we work with the embassies, there's personal contacts in friendship, contacts with the official diplomatic missions in charge of trade exchange, and on a regular basis, the leadership of our organization is hosting the events of this highest level. This week, we plan to have the meeting with the King of Bahrain and the Speaker of the Parliament of Oman, and therefore such meetings and communications and contacts, they start from 1990s, and we have a great pool of contacts in different spheres, in different directions, and therefore we focus on practical implementation and how we can implement our projects in the Middle East. And I would like to stress that we implement large events, projects, programs, and our partners are the largest industrial, commercial institutions in the Middle East. Najibullah, we had a common mission to Yemen, and we visited this large organization having 30% of the economy of Yemen, and they have representatives in all the countries of the Middle East. And you've seen thus our work and our style, and our priority is to give support and help to everyone needed this support and help. And we proactively interact with the state institutions. I personally participated in practical events of the high rank officials and missions and delegations. So we meet with the representatives of business community. And what can we do? GR support, framing the business contacts, interaction with our partners, meeting sessions. And therefore, I would like to thank the Russian Expert Center for this huge trust that is given to us. And we work for a long time. And we participate in organization of different business events in Saudi Arabia and on the whole the Middle East market and destination. And we work with this support centers in the region, in Mordovia, in Vladimir region, in Moscow Expert Center. We work with everyone, with all the regions, and the range of the regions, we have quite successful DNS cooperation. We also plan another business mission with this Center for Expert Support of Chelyabinsk region, and we have a lot of common projects, missions, and we want to expand and upscale this experience. We have good contacts in Bahrain, in other countries of the Middle East, and thank you very much. This meeting with this leader of Bahrain and Oman. Do you plan to invite us? We'll be more than happy. Thank you very much. So I hope this session was helpful, and we are to round up our session from my side on behalf of our organization. I would like to stress we are open and we work for you, and please enter this good community of good partners. Thank you very much for your attention.